Yeah, so I just want to give a little demo on my project. I've done a little program that lets me work with APIs, just because I want to teach myself how to use APIs. I've never used them. I found out they're pretty simple. Well, they can get really complex, but the general idea is pretty simple. An API is just a way that you can interact with other websites or applications to get data. Um, so I chose two fairly simple ones to use. I'm working with an open weather AI and an earthquake AI, or excuse me, API, not AI, API. Anyways, they just do what they sound like they do. I can get weather data from the weather API. I can get earthquake data from the earthquake API. And I'll show you how that all works. I made a pretty simple little program. So you're just gonna tell the program what city you want to look up weather data for. So I'll just do Rexburg. Then I'll get the degrees in Fahrenheit. And there you go. It displays the weather data for today. Um, yeah. And then the second part is it's going to find earthquake data using the city of Rexburg. So we're going to find out how many magnitude 5 earthquakes happened within a 10-degree radius of Rexburg. And let's say we want to find out how many happened since the year 2022. Let's say December, and we'll say the 1st. So there you go. Within a 10-degree radius, those are the earthquakes that have happened that have been that shares their magnitude. Yeah, they're all in California. So it's not very useful if we get earthquake data from California if we want to know about Rexburg. So I'll show you how APIs work and how we can change them if we wanted to. So this is my program. It's pretty simple. The way APIs work is you use a URL to get what you want. So this is the Open Weather API URL, the base URL. And to get data from it, you just add onto your URL. So, for example, after this, I'd have like a slash and other information, but I get all that information just as I've stored it in variables and I just concatenate it to one big string, and that's my URL. That's how that works. And then down here, this is where I'm doing, starting here, I've got on line 59, I've got earthquake API stuff going on. So I wrote some functions just to get input from a user, month, day, and year. And then my base API for the earthquake URL is this one right here, or should my base URL for the earthquake API, if I can speak, is right here. And then my methods and parameters are same kind of thing as above. I concatenated it all into one big string. But if I want to change like the radius, like for example, that was really 10 degrees is quite a bit. What if we do something a little smaller? We'll do a 7-degree radius. All you got to do is you're just editing a URL. You're just changing a 10 to a 7 in that spot in the URL. All my other components I've stored in variables, but I left a couple just as a string, just so it's easy to visualize what's going on. So now that we've changed it to a 7, if we run the same program again, we'll do Rexburg again. Fahrenheit. Maybe that's what we did last time. Yeah. Oh, I need to change my prompt. Obviously, it's with a 7-degree radius now, but you get the idea. That's now because we have a smaller radius, there were not any earthquakes from the date we put in 2022 December to the current date. So there was no earthquakes. And you could do the same thing with other parameters if you wanted to change the magnitude. That's just again another part of the URL. So you change that number 5 to whatever magnitude you want. So okay, and that's what I've got. It was actually really fun to learn about APIs.